Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tamika and I go by she and her pronouns. And I see myself as someone who is sharing my journey of living with chronic pain, living with fibromyalgia, living with a mood disorder, and I share my stories so that others can possibly gain some insights, know that they're not the only ones who are experiencing these difficulties. Because when you're living with disability, it is life limiting, and also it can cause you to have a skewed view of who you are and what your purpose and place is here in society. So it's important to be able to recognize why it is that we need spaces like these. It's okay to be our authentic selves, and it's okay to share stories about our journey and what that looks like living with chronic pain. Today, I wanted to just touch on energy conservation. It's something that I'm new to, and it's apparently known in like the world of occupational therapist, pain specialist. There is a way where we have to learn how to conserve our energy when we're living with chronic pain, not overexert ourselves, know when to pull back, know when to dive deeper, listen to the cues and the triggers in our bodies. We have to be really, really in tuned to our bodies and to our feelings. Because we don't have the luxury of just putting it off and ignoring it. When you're living with a chronic pain condition, for example, like fibromyalgia, there are times where the pain intensity is lessened and you might feel a lot stronger and you might push yourself a lot. Then you might find a few hours later or the very next day you're crashing. I know, like, for me, that's been my cycle. Um, I get bursts of energy and then I feel I gotta go, 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 go. Um, and come the next day, my body is it's just struggling just to do simple daily tasks of living. I'm feeling restless, I'm feeling lightheaded, I'm feeling dizzy. The pain has flared up. So it's really important that we understand and we take into consideration energy conservation around what we can and can't do. And this is also where it comes down to the relationships that we have around us, because we also might have to conserve our energy emotionally and mentally depending on whom we're interacting with. Like, if, for example, there's a certain circumstance or situation that causes you excess stress or even potential anxiety, my recommendation would be to do as much as you can in advance to prepare yourself so that you don't feel so overwhelmed in those moments. Or can you divert? Can you pivot? Do you have to do it like that? Do you have to be faced with that situation? Can you bring along an advocate? Don't be afraid, ashamed, or embarrassed to access the resources and supports that are available, because they're hard to get a hold of, they're few and far between, and we know that they're wait list upon wait list upon wait list. And when you're suffering and when you need help, the last thing you need to hear is maybe we'll be able to get back to you in 3 to 6 months. That is a lifetime for someone with chronic pain. So you have to ask yourself, sometimes there's certain circumstances, experiences, individuals that I need to either limit or I need to find another adaptive way. And that's going to look different for all of us. I know for myself, there's certain times of the day that I like in terms of going out if I have to do errands, because I don't want it to be too much in terms of the number of people, to be overstimulated. I still do things where possible. I go and I get my groceries picked up. I don't go into the grocery store, and if I do, I'm only going to pick up a few items. I'm not going to try to do all of that on my own, because energy wise it's just too much for me. So there's an example of how I found a different way to tackle that situation and still come out with a successful outcome. So for you, it could be different. It could be avoiding certain conversations, and there's nothing wrong with that. You don't need to engage with someone or individuals who simply, if they're not living with a chronic pain condition, they can only understand up to a point, and they may really not be doing or saying anything intentionally to cause you hurt. So you have to have that openness in your heart. However, you can still have a limitation set and just say, you know what? I don't feel comfortable having this conversation at this time. I appreciate your insights, but I don't think it's for me in this moment. And usually, most reasonable people will pull back. You might have to draw more strict boundary lines in your relationships. That could be with friends, that could be with family members, spouses, and children, because again, the pain impacts every aspect of your life. It's not just that you have a chronic pain condition, it's the fact that it affects your mood, it affects your energy level, it affects how you function day to day, it affects your thought life. So it goes into everything. And the people closest to you should be your greatest source of support, but they can support in different ways. They can't support in all ways, and that's okay. We have to accept people for where they are and for who they are, because we want that acceptance as people living with a chronic pain condition. So if you haven't heard about energy conservation, something to think about, something to talk about if you're in a support group, if you have an occupational therapist, they've mentioned it to you already. Something to also mention if you're working alongside a social worker, psychotherapist. There's a lot, I think, out there online about energy conservation, especially for chronic pain sufferers. So I would urge you to take advantage of that. And I would urge you to keep that in mind in your day-to-day living. And, we're all doing the best that we can with the resources we have available. So, as always, I say, listen to Black women, believe our stories, amplify our voices, give us a platform to share our stories and our experiences, and know that we are worthy, we are lovable, we are capable, and we have a purpose, and we will fulfill our destiny. Thank you for listening, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.